This one, honestly, should be the fucking co-main event.
I mean, should it though?
Nate the Train. Listen, I'd rather hear Nate scream Dana's name for 15 minutes than
Dana!
watch Holly Holm grunt, Dana. Fuck, man. But okay. Listen, a guy that gets outstruck 103 to 96 from distance against Darren Elkins should not be a minus 225 favorite in the year 2023 of our Lord. I love Nate Landwehr. I love Nate Landwehr. However, it's just not worth it. Okay. I want to give a shout out. I think it was Piglord MMA, whoever I think is the guy that tweeted it. But you bet Nate Landwehr when he's plus 200, not minus 200.
Right.
You can't do it. The stats say even, the wrestling, all that. Yeah, sure. Nate should do it. But I mean, Austin comes to bang, and he's actually got a lot more technical boxing than Nate does. Especially defense. But yeah, Austin's got some power. He comes out of Fortis, so he's out of a good gym. He actually had to cut weight a couple weeks ago, but now he's cutting weight again as his partner last time decided to come in 10 pounds overweight.
Good job, Ricardo Ramos.
Yeah, real fucking nice, dog. And I feel like we're getting Nate Landwehr is really on 2 or 3 weeks notice for this fight. I mean, he didn't have anything booked up to this point. And
he was supposed to fight Alex Caceres. That's not true.
Okay. Well, definitely a reason why he's the favorite in this spot, but I just don't think he should be I thought Ricardo Ramos had more finishing upside than a guy like Nate. And that's why I was willing to trust him at that number, especially playing submission prop. But I might have to take the dog shot on Lingo at plus 190.
I understand where you're going, but I want to go with your fade the narrative idea, but I want to dial it back a half a tick.
Right. But, I mean, the pick is Nate. Well, but I'm thinking about.
I don't understand. No, chill.
All right, fair.
All right, so what I think, right, is especially based on some of the things you highlighted, I think that Nate Landwehr gets it done. I think that his pace and overall just general dog craziness, and even his ability to possibly mix in some wrestling, although with Lingo's 80% takedown defense, I'm not necessarily convinced that he's going to get too many takedowns on him. Although, again, who was shooting against? He gave up 6 of 12 to Yusuf Zalal, and Kilburn went 1 of 18, and that dude's not UFC caliber. And Saldana went 0 of 5, and that dude's not a wrestler. So that's at 80%, but it doesn't really mean much of anything. I think Nate should be able to get a takedown if he really wants one. And what I do think is more interesting is playing the over, right? Kind of fading the narrative in these two quote unquote finishers in or at least the crazy man in Nate Landwehr, right? I think Austin Lingo is a guy that's been to decision enough times as well as Nate, honestly, even in their most recent fights. Nate just went, even though it was a barn burner where he was nearly dead, that majority decision with David Onama. And then before that, even he chokes out Ludwig Klein, in round 3 there. So, I just think that something like that could be an interesting shot, even just fight to start round 3, where you're probably getting closer to even money. But Austin Lingo, decent boxer. That's basically where he wants to be. And that's the fight that Landwehr's mostly going to give him. And that is kind of the problem, essentially, with laying minus 225 on Landwehr. So while I don't want to lay the chalk there, I'm not on Landwehr money line. I can't come around to plus 190 on Lingo because I don't really see him finishing him.
I do like that over 2.5 plus 100.
Yeah, or even, whatever it is, fight to start round 3 will probably be something interesting.
What do you got, Wiz?
Here's the thing with this fight. You guys brought it up earlier. Is Nate Landwehr Ricardo Ramos? There's a quick answer to that. And if it's not quick, then I don't know what's going on in your head.
Very different skill sets, yeah.
Very different skill sets, very different level of MMA. Yeah. And I'll just be straight up. Nate Landwehr is a good nail. not a hammer. He's a good underdog, not a favorite, like historically in the UFC. Now, I do think his pressure might be able to break Austin Lingo down the stretch. But do you want to back Nate Landwehr, who's been a plus 300, plus 250 to 300, maybe even more sometimes in his past 3 fights? What warrants him to be a minus 250, 260 favorite at the moment? I struggle to see
Nothing.
where
It's literally it's recency bias. Exactly. I mean, it's his last 2 wins. It's recency bias. And Ludwig Klein is such a fraud, dude. Like, right, with his gassing out in the, what was it, last week?
Damn it, Guru! Let this man cook.
I know. I'm just adding with him. I'm go, man, go. I'm leaning.
He's throwing in ingredients into the
by all means, because I was bringing up similar points, and I was about to say the same exact thing. Like, Ludwig Klein is a fraud. We've seen that. We've seen that Jai Herbert, how Jai Herbert just pieced him the fuck up, and that wasn't supposed to be a draw if it weren't for that point deduction. He was getting pieced up. And you look at other opponents, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, David Onama, sure, he's a good striker, but he gasses out. So that's not like that impressive of a win. The fight, yeah, I get it. Elkins, outpacing Elkins. These are decent wins, sure, but they're not high level competition to where I'm confident that there's that big of a skill gap at minus 250, 260 on Landwehr between him and Lingo. So in no way in betting terms, I can like lay the juice or even parlay Nate Landwehr. It's more of a shot on Austin Lingo here. But again, 100%. Cutting weight twice is never my favorite thing to do. So this is just another pass for me, unfortunately. Yeah. Like I wish I could give you more on this one. Yeah, it's too risky of a bet. If it was, and you guys know me, I like my parlays. This is not a fighter to put in a two-man parlay.
Yeah. No, we'll get to those pieces though. There's some coming
money
up.
With your money. It's absolutely got to be on the dog, 100%. I didn't want anything to do with the favorite on this, and I especially want to see weigh-ins. If Lingo looks like really ready to rock, yeah, maybe I even go with him with the pick. So consider me totally and completely totally not sold on Nate Landwehr. Like, no part of me is sold there.
No, for sure. And I got like, you'll see the official Tapology pick, the official Bet MMA as we see weigh-ins and what these guys look like, the double weight cut, all that. So, but yeah, I think Austin Lingo is tickling my interest. So